Let's see what happens. Chapter 10. Yeah, because, we were looking for Rika last time. Because, apparently she's, in danger. After hanging up on Shion, I searched for Rika's phone number on my school's contact list. There it is. My fingers trembled with urgency, and I failed multiple times to put in the simple 5-digit number. Keiichi, are you calling someone at this hour? It's late, and it's being rude to the other person. That doesn't matter right now. Shut up, Ma. Damn, bro. Okay. I shouted angrily at my mother, listening to the dial tone. Pick up. Come on, pick up. The time was 11 p.m. It certainly wasn't early. It was essentially the middle of the night. Had Rika already gone to bed? Her phone would be ringing constantly, though. So, would she come and get back up for me? Rika didn't pick up. She didn't pick up. She didn't pick up! Maybe she just happened to miss it. Maybe her bed was just too far away. You got booba points now? Oh, shit. Let's go. Booba points. Let's go. Maybe your bed was just too far away from the phone. The sound of the phone ringing gets clearer and clearer the longer you go on sleeping. Then, the bathroom? Yeah, she must be taking a bath, yeah. If that was the case, then even if she heard the phone, she wouldn't be able to pick up. It was a little late to be taking a bath, but it was possible. She normally took baths right before going to bed. I'll wait 30 minutes, then try calling again. Booba points. Why did I call him that? I don't know. Even as I was thinking that, I called her house over and over again. I kept calling over and over again and again. I kept calling her, but she didn't pick up even once. I think I kept trying for about 30 minutes, yet she wasn't picking up. Were my phone calls so persistent that she had gotten scared of picking up the receiver? Now, that couldn't possibly be it. There was no point in doing this any longer. The best thing to do would be there to go in person. Where was Rika's house, though? Shit, I've never asked her where she lived. Her residence was written there in a contact list, but it was an address that with mostly numbers, so I couldn't tell where it was by reading it. Matt and K. Freaker. All right. Rika Furude. Her last name was Furude. You already know I'm gonna be lurking. Well, give me a sub before you stop, hop out the stream. Give me a sub. Because why not? I'll give it to, like, Envy or something. He got booba points for the first time. It was a bit of an odd last name, so it might be easy to find. Why are we going out? We already like, realized it was a bad idea to go out by yourself. So why are we doing that? We're already doing the bad. Thinking that, I rummaged around in the drawer with the phone book, but could only find things like takeout menus and phone numbers for public establishments. Shit. I tore one thing after another out of the drawer, but I didn't come up with any clues to where Rika's house was. Calm down, Keiichi Maebara. If you don't know, then just ask. Ask someone who does know. That's it. Rena's gotta know. I looked up Rena's phone number on the contact list. Rena Ryugu. Again. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Maybe she's just gonna have to die, bro. That's all I gotta say. Maybe that's what happens, bro. There she was. Hello? This is Ryugu. It was this voice of a grumpy-sounding man. It must have been Rena's father. I was calling in the middle of the night. I need to be polite. I'm sorry for calling so late. This is Maybara. Is there any chance Rena is around? Reina is taking a bath. Oh, she's done? Reina. There's a friend of yours on the phone. Alright, Reina Ryugu was her real name, wasn't it? Damn, not gonna lie, that messed me up. I started looking for a phone. Get wrecked, nerd. Get wrecked. I'd gotten so used to calling her Rena that hearing her real name caught me a little off guard. Hello? This is Rena. It's me, Keiichi. Sorry for calling so late. Huh? Keiichi? What do you need at a time like this? Like this? Well, actually, I wanted to know where Rika's house was. Rena seemed a little appalled that I'd call her for something like that at this hour. Damn, I mean, that's what happens. That's what happens when you call it at like, what is it, like 11:30, 12 p.m. or 12 a.m.? Makes sense. However, she spoke her next word seriously, as if she'd caught on to how urgent my need was. Okay, sure. You know the assembly hall on the grounds of the Furue Shrine? There's a 2-story shack used for storage behind it. That's where she lives. I couldn't immediately visualize the place, but as long as I knew she lived on the shrine grounds, I just have to take a look around. Got it. Terrible idea. Do not go there at all. Especially right now. We already, like, brother, it is high key possible that you're gonna die, bro. Like, why are we doing this? Thanks. Sorry again for calling so late. Apologize to your dad for me too, would you? Okay, but Keiichi, why do you need to know where Rika lives? Rena asked in an unusually sharp way, halting me before I could hang up the phone. I hesitated for a moment about whether to tell her. He was killed because I told him. Who? Oh yeah, because another person died, I forgot. Well, died, disappeared. Keiichi? If you're still listening, could you answer me? Why are you asking where Rika lives at a time like this? Rena affected her usual tone, but beneath her words lay a certain tension, like she'd intuitively, yeah, I know words, sense something was going on. What will you do, Keiichi? If it's Rena, can't I tell her? Yep, he was killed because he found out. I revealed everything, so he was killed. Keiichi? Rena is being serious. Please answer me. Rena asked me once again in a tone so forceful I couldn't imagine her ever using it normally. I was taken aback by her vigor. Rena was Rika's friend too. She had the right to be concerned about Rika's disappearance. She's not gonna disappear. Rika's clearly a different individual, bro. Yo, what's up, Sav? Rika's clearly a different breed of person, bro. So it's like, there's no way she's gonna get disappeared, bro. She ain't gonna get abducted by nothing, bro. If I told Rena, then. About to watch anime and eat, bet. Even if only for a moment, I could drive away my horrifying fears. Rena, well, I can't exactly tell you why, but yes? Rena's tone was seriousness itself. Just from that tone, I could feel her saying, no matter what you say, Keiichi, I'll believe you. That subtle sense of security gave me the courage to reveal the truth. Why are we telling other people? We're just ratting every single second, bro. Keiichi just can't shut the fuck up, bro. I have a feeling that Rika is in danger. You mean like a premonition? Or do you have some reason to believe that she's in danger? I didn't really have the time to go back and forth with Rena like this. So I think listening to her calm voice soothed my pointless impatience. I don't have much reason, but yet I still hesitated. I had told Rika that we had snuck into the ritual storehouse. The mayor, to whom Shion had confessed before that, had already disappeared. Because everyone gotta go sometime, bro. Haven't been here for like even 5 minutes, and a dude already ran and followed. Yeah, exactly, bro. He's like, do I tell her? Do I just admit everything that I did wrong? Like, no, brother, just shut up. So it was possible that Rika's also... I didn't know how to explain it to Rena. While I was tongue-tied, Rena spoke up. Sorry for asking something so weird. I thought about it, and it isn't like you to need to be sure. Rena laughed a little, seeming a bit absent-minded. I wasn't exactly in the mood to laugh, so this time I was dumbfounded. Rena continued in a cheerful, yet still purposeful voice. You're worried about a friend. I don't think you had to need a reason to go and check on them. Even if Rika was asleep, you ended up waking her up. If that was why you did it, then more of us would get mad. Then none of us would get mad. Rena, thank you. Okay then, Keiichi, just one more thing. You called Rika's house, right? Then you just couldn't get through, so that's why you asked me where she lives? Yeah, that's right. I must have called her over 10 times. She could just be sleeping or not have noticed. Rika's house is really small. She would have definitely heard the phone ringing even if she was asleep. Ah. Satoko was there too, so there's no way neither of them would notice. Huh? Satoko, you mean she's living with Rika? Yeah. You didn't know? Well, we can talk about it later. Anyway, if you called that much and no one answered, then there's something definitely wrong. Rena understood that the situation wasn't normal, far faster than I could have ever imagined her to. It made her seem dependable. However, the fact that Rena had acknowledged this also meant that the best case possibility of it all just being the result of my own needless fears just went out the window. I'll go to Rika's house right now. Will you come with me? I can show you the way. Sounds good. Alright, bet. Sounds good. Let's meet up at the same place as usual. I'll be waiting for you. No, wait. I'll come and get you at your house. You just wait there. And tell your family you're coming with me to Rika's house, okay? Will that be okay? We might lose time if you come here. Did you call Mion too? She's really dependable at times like these. If you haven't, I'll give her a call. Oh yeah, because can't tell her because she's suspicious. My thoughts froze for a moment. Shion had told me to be careful around Mion during our phone conversation a little while ago. If the Sonozaki main house was somehow lurking behind the surface of the annual freak deaths, then the current heir of the family, Mion, wouldn't be uninvolved. So, wouldn't that mean she wasn't uninvolved in what happened this year too? This year to Takano and Tomitake? And also the mayor's disappearance? Okay, bye. I'll be right over. Wait for me. That's all Rena said before hurriedly hanging up. Now wasn't the time to be doubting Mion. I needed to make sure Rika was safe. I got changed and grabbed the key to my bike. I figured things would go more smoothly if we went up to in the usual place we did before school. Rena wouldn't need to come all the way to my house. Again, it's like, why don't you just wait? Why don't you just wait? I'd rather not go outside in the middle of the night in a place where, like, people are probably trying to kill you. Like, why are we doing this? Why are we acting dumb? My parents would probably have objected if I told them I was leaving, so I crept out without a word. The night was unusually warm and disagreeably humid. For plot, exactly, for plot. She said that Rika and Satoko lived together, right? Huh? Then it wasn't only Rika. Satoko wasn't there either? Dun dun dun. Realizing that what them living together really meant caused my thoughts to immediately take a turn for the worst. That can't be. She's got nothing to do with any of this. Even if there was a reason for Rika to disappear, there should be one for Satoko. Keiichi? Rena was really fast. She approached me on her bike at an amazing speed. Her breath was ragged, painting a clear picture of just how hurriedly she'd been going. Hey, Rena, let's get going. Keiichi, I thought I told you to wait at your house. Rena's expression was all business. Was she mad? It came out of the blue and I faltered for a moment. Well, I just figured it would be faster if we met up here. Keiichi, don't you get it? Rena shouted, clearly angry. I've never seen Rena like this before. Do I get it? What's the problem? Rena seemed to notice she was scaring me, took a couple deep breaths, and continued as if admonishing me, but her expression didn't soften at all. Keiichi, the whole village is in uproar right now. That the elder disappeared, right? Yeah? Now you're telling me that Rika and SATOKO aren't where they're supposed to be, right? Yeah. That about sums it up. Then you need to be more careful. True. You need to make sure that, yeah, like, why are you going out in the middle of the night by yourself? But what about you, Rena? Why is it cool for you to do it? And not, Keiichi? I don't know. Then you need to be more careful. Do you have any idea how dangerous it is to be standing out here alone in the middle of the night? I began to understand where Rena's anger was coming from. You told your family you'd be going to Rika's house with me, didn't you? So that in the worst case scenario, if you and I were to disappear, people would know when and where we did. No weapons or anything. Deadass. No protection. And Keiichi didn't even tell his parents. Didn't even leave a note. No, nothing, bro. Buddy's just trying to die. Like, hello? No. Rena was perfectly level-headed in this emergency situation ever since the night of the Watanagashi. Every night someone had died or disappeared. On the night itself, Takano and Tomitake met strange ends. On the next night, the elder vanished. Now, on the next night after that, Rika and SATOKO were nowhere to be found. I hadn't been thinking of anyone but myself. But it wasn't enough to say that Hinamizawa was a little weird at the moment. It was, in fact, extremely strange. Rena had even anticipated her own disappearances. Yeah, our own disappearances, and had told me to tell my family where I was going. I was embarrassed about my own carelessness, and the need to be embarrassed made me afraid of the night. Sorry, I didn't tell them yet. Okay, then let's go tell them together. With Rena beside me, I wheeled back to my house. Fucking gets obliterated. Bro's he a little special, yeah. He a little special because, like, how are you not gonna tell him? How are you not gonna have a weapon? How are you not gonna tell your parents? Like, hello? The moon seemed strangely high in the night, in the sky. I mean, a sky that was uselessly vast and cold, so that no matter what, it would never seem to be like a dream. Seemed to me like a dream. This cruel fact had already confronted me. What the fuck? Just getting a bunch of fucking notifications on Discord right now. Oh, okay, it's in this. Wait, no, it's Gomas. Never mind. Okay. On such a crazy night, Rena had been unimaginably dependable. Hinamizawa's metamorphosis, enough to make Rena cautious or caution me against carelessness, was to me the most fearsome thing of all. The moon seemed strangely high in the sky. We met up with Mion on the way, and she, of course, was unsure whether to believe me about Rika and Satoko's disappearance. Kay, are you serious? I'm going to get really mad if this is a joke. Mion was clearly displeased. If this were a joke, it wasn't very funny. I understood how indiscreet my words were. Holy goddamn, Gomas, just spamming. And he's adding me. Holy fuck. Relax. At least tell someone if you were dealing with potential murderers. Hell, call the tell the police, bro. Ever since the day before yesterday, someone had either died or vanished every night. Rika and SATOKO disappearing. After all, that was something you just couldn't say. Oh, I did not read the last, part of that sentence. I'm waiting for me to catch up on the stream. Even in jest. There we go. Mion, if it was really a joke, don't get mad. Smile. Smile at a time like this? No. No. It would be a joke after all. We need to make sure whether it's a joke or not. You're right. Sorry for getting upset. However indiscreet a joke it may have been, if we learn that our friends are safe, it would end up as nothing more than a funny story. Having been warned about that by Rena, Mion gave a dry smile, the tension she felt loosening a bit. Still a terrible idea. She mounted her bicycle as well. Our 3 bicycle lights flashed down the pitch black roads. They were some of the only illumination outside. Keiichi, why did you suddenly decide to call and ask about Rika's house at a time like this? Mion asked me the same thing that I had trouble explaining to Rena. Would it be weird to call it a premonition? I couldn't quite tell because it was dark, but I thought I would see Mion smiling very ambiguously. I definitely understood that she wasn't convinced, though, despite the darkness. Well, I had this bad dream while I was snoozing, and I couldn't get it out of my head. So did Rika get kidnapped in her dream? Well, it was more of a vague feeling, sort of thing. If Rika had answered the phone, I would have called you and Rena after that. Lies smoothly babbled out of my mouth, makeshift though they were. I was lying because I thought telling them I was connected to Shion would be like silently admitting we'd stolen into the ritual storehouse together at that night. Mion didn't press me any further. I don't know whether that convinced her, or maybe she figured that making sure Rika and Satoko were safe would be faster than making an issue out of it. I felt relieved and immediately a little bit guilty. Mion hadn't really been acting any differently these past few days, but I'm still trying to distance myself from her for some reason. Maybe because she's sort of an op. Well, it was only because of what I heard from Shion and Oishi that she was the successor of some kind of super extravagant gang family. No. Was I just trying to force myself to forget? Don't do that, Keiichi Maebara. Wasn't it Mion who was the first to ask about that night of the Watanagashi? In such a harsh tone at that? Have I already forgotten the terror I felt? At the moment, Mion looked like someone different from the Mion I knew. When I think about Mion, or that Mion, then Shion and Oishi's descriptions of Mion made a tiny bit more sense. That's it, isn't it? If it wasn't for how she acted that day, then I wouldn't be feeling this way towards her now. What on earth was going on with her back then? I was conveniently thinking only of everything she had done after that, while disregarding the very first thing, the thing I should have been looking at the most, wasn't I? Mion was pedaling her bike in front of me. Her long hair fluttered in the wind. No matter how long I looked at her back, I never gave me answers to any of my questions. We went all the way up the stone steps leading up to the shrine grounds. Of course, we weren't going to want to haul our bikes up there, so we parked them out beside the staircase instead. So this is the Furude Shrine. Everyone comes and goes as they please, as if it were a park, but this place is actually the grand estate owned by the Furude family. So the entire shrine is private property. It really makes you feel the passage of time. 10 or 20 years ago, it would have looked the exact same. Then wouldn't that mean the Furude family is really old? With a history going back for generations? Yeah, they're gone. That's odd. Rena said something clearly disquieting, so I ran over to her. What's wrong, Rena? Rika and Satoko always leave their bicycles here. See? They're gone. I took a look around. Indeed, there were no bicycles aside for the ones we'd taken to get here. Couldn't they have parked them somewhere else? Could they have brought them up the stairs? Those girls couldn't do that, Keiichi. Just as she said, I couldn't imagine Rika and Satoko lugging their bikes all the way up here. We hadn't yet knocked on Rika's door, but reality was already sparking some ideas that weren't what you called good. Yeah. Maybe they were just parked under some trees that we hadn't noticed them. Yeah, maybe. I refuse to believe that not being able to find their bikes was proof that they disappeared. Adds in a minute. Let go. The only way to be sure is to check their house. We all nodded and dashed up the stone steps. We passed through the red arch and came out onto the shrine grounds, which was covered in a neat gravel. Yeah, something about to happen here. It was so quiet here, as though the Watanagashi festival had never happened. So where's the house I live in? Over here. Come with me. Rena took the lead and sprinted off. We went toward the assembly hall behind the shrine, then looped around behind it. Damn, they really just live in some random ass spot like this in the darkness of the night. Someone about to get it. Fact. We found a small prefab 2-story shack that looked like a warehouse. Dead ass? You're telling me Rika live here? Okay. The lights are off. Are they sleeping? Let's knock. Rena and Mion neared the shack, which didn't really look like a place people would live in. Yeah, exactly. This looks sad. Like, what the fuck? They had such a beautiful shrine, so I figured they'd live in an equally beautiful house. It was far from what I had expected. Yeah, this looks like ass, bro. This looks like it sucks to live in. Rika! Satoko, are you there? Rena shouted up to the second floor. Her voice was restrained at first, but it steadily grew louder. No answer. In fact, there wasn't any sort of activity in the house at all. They might be sleeping. Let's wake them up. Mion banged on the shutter with both hands, and the loud sounds echoed into our surroundings. They would have noticed this much noise. They would have turned on the light in their room, fling open the windows, and yell, "What time do you think it is?" That, however, wasn't happening. There was absolutely no response. Mion stopped slamming her fist on the shutter, and a sudden silence fell over us. They must be sleeping. Let's wake them up. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, people think that, or people in the series think that she be doing it, bro. Like, she be the one, like, disappearing people. The silence aroused terrible thoughts in us. I could feel the blood draining from my face. It's locked. I wonder if we can get in somehow. Rena showed no signs of stopping. It didn't look like she would admit they weren't there until we went inside and saw for ourselves. It's locked. Let's break in. Yeah, deadass. Oh yeah. The second story windows wouldn't be locked. I'll give them a try. Keiichi, a ladder. Mion brought over a ladder that was standing around against the house. Yo, we're about to open this fucking window, and they're gonna be dead inside or some crazy shit like that. Maybe they got tons of bodies in here or some shit, bro. Mion brought a ladder that was standing against the house. The footing was a little unstable for me to be climbing, but Mion held the ladder firmly in place for me. I'm about to see some insane shit inside of this house, aren't I, bro? We about to see some crazy shit. I hadn't climbed too many ladders. My inexperience with them exposed, I climbed up one step at a time and tried to open each window on the second floor. Mion, I'm going to check the main house just to be sure, okay? I'll be right back. Rena darted away. What? A main house? It's the Furude's family's actual house. After her parents passed away, I think it's been left like that. Ah, right. Rika's parents, they passed away, huh? Oh, yeah, that did happen. At that time, I recalled something else. Wasn't Satoko living here too? Yeah, what's going on with her? Where's her parents at? Satoko's also an orphan. Oh. Her parents fell from a cliff. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, bro. Wait a minute. Rika is the daughter of the priest that died from Oyashiro-sama's curse. And Satoko's parents were the ones that fell off a cliff, quote unquote. So they are involved technically because they're related to the people that died. And from what we've learned, that like even people that are related to the people that have died get murked too. Yeah, fell off a cliff in quotes. Yeah. Yeah, 100% fell off a cliff. Then her older brother, yo! And Satoshi, the motherfucker that was like basically in Keiichi's place a year ago? Brother. What the fuck? What the fuck? Yeah, Satoko's 100% connected to all this shit, bro. So it's like, it makes sense that she'd be getting like, you know... Yeah, this is a fucking info dump from hell. Yeah, deadass. Wow. Satoshi, I've heard that name before. I remembered. He was the one who disappeared last year because of the curse. Yep. Ever since then, Satoko and Rika have been living in this shack. Why are they living in this random-ass shack? By themselves, by the way. Shouldn't... I don't know. I feel like someone should have been like, you know... Should have, like, offered them a place to stay. It's 2 little kids, bro. I don't know. It's weird. Neither of them has any family, but at least they're together. They help out. They help each other out. Where the exact? I mean, okay, like both their parents are dead, but it's like again, where are the other adults that could? I thought Hinamagawa was like Hinamagawa was a fucking unit, bro. Why aren't they helping these little 2 kids out, bro? Hello? I mean, I guess if they're connected to the people that were involved in the whatchamacallit, the like killings of Oyashiro, like that, they probably don't want anything to do with them. Maybe. Rena said main house, didn't she? Wouldn't it be easier to live there? The curtains were drawn so I couldn't get a good look inside to see, but the 2 young girls living together seemed like a pretty tough life. Exactly. Why are they... I think she tried that at first. She said it was hard, though, because it reminded her of her parents. I mean, where are the other adults, bro? I had no idea. I feel really bad for them. They were normally so cheerful at school that I never even realized an atom of this. Rika and Satoko, they have it hard, huh? She's cursed. Oh. Huh? Suddenly, Mion said something in a low voice that it sounded like she was really cursing someone, and I didn't let it slide. I turned around up on the ladder and to face her and asked again, Mion, what did you just say? I said she's cursed. Oh. I see. How so? In fact, how is she cursed? Mion, still holding the ladder, brought her head up next to me to look me in the eyes. Mion, the fuck you just say, ho? As soon as our eyes met, an absolute zero jolt of electricity surged through my body. Mion's eyes clouded over, and within them boiled and bubbled a stew of chaos. They whirled around and looked like a raging sea, and bubbles floated to the surface. Hello? I had at some point been trapped on this ladder, like being cornered on a dead-end street. He just asked the wrong question. Yeah, dead ass. But Mion, why are you making that face? I intended to follow that up with you're going too far with this joke and give her a forced smile. However, on such uneven footing as I was, the only thing that came out of my mouth was a hoarse groan as I desperately struggled to not let nausea overwhelm me. Satoko Hojo, she's been cursed by Oyashiro-sama. Mion answers with a response to something I never asked, as if replying to someone else's question. Oh. The only people who fell from the park observation platform were her parents. Only her parents who treated her like dirt died that day. Oh. She was the only one to survive. Then she was sent to live with her aunt, who treated her cruelly, and the aunt was killed on the night of the Watanagashi by some deviants who beat her to death so violently her brains were everywhere, and her head an entirely different shape. Oh. Hey, yo, by the end of it, that's crazy. That's a crazy description, bro. Then Satoshi, who always protected her, he suddenly disappeared on her birthday. Someone made him disappear even though he wasn't abusing her. The police judged him to have run away from home, but Satoshi wasn't that kind of person who would do that. He was always earnest. He would never ask for anyone's help. He would always drag himself through everything with hard work alone. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. This is he worked so hard he nearly ground his bones into dust, all for his one and only little sister. Yeah, what the fuck is this? Detroit? Yeah, deadass. And yet someone made him disappear. She was the only thing he lived for, and yet someone made him disappear. Poor Satoshi. He was never rewarded that, Satoshi. How ungrateful that child is. She is cursed. All who get near her suffer the same fate. The curse kills them, or the curse makes them disappear. She cannot have any relief. She cannot have any relief. It's probably Satoko's fault that Rika disappeared too. It has to be. 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 Oh shit. Mion was mumbling words over and over that were no longer coherent. Her shoulders were trembling so hard that I could feel it through the ladder. I almost lost my footing, which made me realize just how far the ground really was. Calm down, Mion. I don't know what you're talking about. I wasn't sure if she even heard me. Mion rocked back and forth and then rocked, and that rocking and trembling was becoming even more violent. Help me! The ladder, it's falling! Help me! Help! He's saying that in his head. Yeah, just then I heard the sound of many people running towards us. Oh, hey! Over here! I nearly said help me outright. 4 or 5 adults, led by Rena, ran over here with flashlights. Schizophrenia time! Keiichi, Mion, sorry I took so long. I borrowed the key. Oh, nice one. Yeah, now she's back to fucking normal, bro. Now she's back to normal. Seems all the windows and doors are perfectly sealed. I was getting worried. When I heard Mion talking like nothing had just happened, I, again, felt a chill run through me. The person currently holding the ladder in place, it was definitely Mion. It was the real Mion Sonozaki, then. The person muttering to themselves just a few seconds ago. Who was that? The person who was mumbling about terrible things like curses. Who was that? I jumped down from the ladder as if running away, but Mion turned into that person who wasn't Mion a second time. The adults tried a few different keys on the key ring as they tried to open the big shutter on the first floor. Rika's house used to be a disaster shelter for the town council, so the key to the shutter is still kept in the mayor's house. It's Rika and Satoko's private residence now, though. Well, this is on Rika's property anyway. Nobody complains about it. Ha ha ha. Mion gave me a smile as she said that. Yeah. That's, okay. I, however, could only return her gaze with an aghast expression. Mion was acting all too normal now, but that only contrasted all the more sharply with her earlier un-Mion-like creepiness. Haha. Bang. Bam. Clatter, clatter, bang. The shutter opened up for the first time in a very long while. Rena located the light switch and wasted no time going inside. I followed her in. Rika, Satoko, if you're in there, say something. We climbed a narrow staircase. It looked like nothing more than a warehouse, but now that I was inside, I could feel how lived in it was. It was a person's home. Somehow the scent of the two of them filled the place. This was definitely where Rika and Satoko lived. But where are they at now? The first floor doubled as a town assembly warehouse, but the second floor was a space entirely for living. Just like a one-person apartment, past the kitchen was a living room, taking up about 150 square feet. Dressers, cupboards, and the like were packed into that space. And in the corner where there was a huge pile of clothes that appeared to have just been taken in from drying outside. In the center of the living room was a fold-up table, and on it was small containers for things like soy sauce and salad dressing. The sense of a frugal lifestyle drifted from all of it. Yo, what's good, Shay? How we doing today, man? It was strange that they weren't here in the middle of the night like this. The adults climbing the stairs one at a time began to make a fuss and talk about amongst themselves. So? Not here? Yeah, they're not here. This is definitely weird. The village had just been thrown into chaos yesterday because of the mayor's disappearance. Then today, even RIKA and SATOKO and... Were they out playing somewhere together? That can't be. Their bicycles aren't here, though. Where would they have gone so late at night? True. Have they just not come back yet? Where did they go? The adults put forth various possibilities, and the house immediately devolved into a state of confusion. Eventually, Mion settled them down. I don't want to believe it, but the mayor, Kimiyoshi, disappeared yesterday. We can't say this is unrelated. The adults' faces paled at Mion's declaration. Mine and Rena's as well, did as well. Let's see. They could have gone nearby for some tea or something, then accidentally fallen asleep. Whoever invited them might just not have been able to wake them up at all, too. Let's eliminate that possibility first. Makino, please go ahead, go around to the houses near the stream. Keitaro, go look near oh my god. Ojaga Lake, that's what we're going for. Okamura, you... Mion promptly gave directions to the villagers. The adults followed them without hesitation despite her age. We'll remain here and call up anyone who we can think of on the phone. Okay, everyone. Will you have your orders? Got it. The adults all roared in reply and pounded back down the stairs below. Wow, Mion. Yeah, crazy work. You're not only chairperson of the school, but Hinamizawa too. No time for jokes. Hey, step aside. This old man is using the phone. Mion grinned proudly, took the receiver, and got started. Rena gave Mion a trusting look, considering her dependability for doing all of this. My feelings, though, a little more complicated since her leadership seemed to be affirming the Sonozaki family successor impression that Shion and Oishi had given me. Stop right there, Keiichi Mibara. None of that matters right now. The most important thing is to make sure RIKA and SATOKO are safe. Yes? Let's see. Couldn't there be a clue hinting at where they might have gone somewhere in this room? Still, though, I wouldn't know what to look for anyway. If we tore the whole place apart and figured out what was different from before, we might be able to speculate, but there was nothing strange about this room, and there were no clues in sight. In the first place, I had never been here before. There was no way for me to know what was different if I didn't know how the room usually looked. Episode 13 is rendering. Say less. We need to get that shit out ASAP. Hey, don't give up, Keiichi Mibara. Yeah, and then like in a few hours, in a few hours, me and Zeno are gonna be making the game for next week, or not next week, in a couple of days. So yeah, I got a game for you guys. Don't worry, Matt. I got something for you guys. Yeah. Me and Zeno are gonna be cooking up. Hey, don't give up, Keiichi Mibara. Stop thinking and start looking for something. Is Zeno jumping on? No. He's just helping me with the game because I got the idea. I just need a little help with it. In search of something, I tried pulling out open the dresser drawers and open the windows. Okay. You what? Oh, we're talking about the podcast that me and Matt are doing, aka the minds behind over here, and Chris. You don't know him though. In search of something, I tried pulling open the dresser drawers and opened the windows. I didn't uncover anything meaningful though. Rena was unable to. You don't need to know Chris. Yeah, Chris is unless like Cold Lyoko. Yeah. Rena was unable to stand around doing nothing. Was looking around the room like I was. Rena, I don't think you'll find RIKA by opening the refrigerator or the cabinet underneath the sink. I just thought they might be hiding. As we were searching, it got noisy outside. Villagers are quickly assembling here, having heard the commotion. Of course, a lot of them were probably people Mion had called. I'll go tell everyone what's going on. Oh yeah, Andrew suck, bro. We're acting crazy, bro. Wait, hold on. What the fuck? What the hell is Andrew sucks on me, bro? Oh, I see. I'll tell everyone what's going on. The police will be here sooner or later, too. We'll need to explain the situation to Oishi. Mion began descending the stairs, and we followed her out to the front of the house. There were already around 10 adults there, and all of them looked uneasy. I suddenly noticed the old people from the shrine were here as well, and they were praying for Rika's safety, rubbing their prayer beads. This had gotten bad. This wasn't just a problem between friends anymore. Mion, is it true that Rika and Satoko aren't anywhere to be found? The villagers are forming a ring around Mion, swarming her. Mion raised her right hand as if silently telling them to calm down. Wait a minute, right hand? Hey, yo. Think about it, bro. Raising it in a certain direction. I don't know. First, let's check every house according to the town council's notification division and see if they're visiting anyone. After all, they could be fast asleep at someone's house and totally unaware that they were looking for them. It would definitely be hard for someone to wake up Rika if she had eaten a good full meal and fallen asleep like a kitten afterwards. Oh, how nice it would be if that were the case. Yup. I don't want to think about this, but it's also possible something bad has happened. Mion's face grew remarkably more grim, and a wave of silence washed over the adults. We should definitely divide up the work too. We'll go around to all the places we went last night while looking for the mayor. We'll go look around the damn construction site as best as we can. You guys go searching around the school? Right. Let's get a move on. Come on, let's go. All of you were up all night looking for the mayor. I know you're all low on sleep, but please do your best. Got it! With that as their signal, the adults scattered in every direction. I figured I should scatter somewhere as well, so I started walking unsteadily in a direction no one else had gone yet in. Yeah, haha. I was getting farther and farther from people. I didn't feel scared or anything, though. Why are we going around? Why are we going to nowhere, bro? Fuck! If someone were made to disappear, Shion and I would sure be first. It would have been perfectly normal for me to be scared of the dark. However, I didn't feel that way. Why was that? It was because tonight, someone had already disappeared, so nobody else would disappear tonight. Whack-ass logic, because a lot of people have been disappearing, pal. It would take some time before I, exhausted as I was, would feel guilt as the cause of my own selfish sense of relief. Sense of relief, man. Yup. Fucking mistake. Suddenly my vision cleared, and a cold wind caressed my body. This was the chill from which you could see the whole village. Looking down from this... Oh, I said chill. I meant hill. My fault. Looking down from this hill, I could see lights. Yeah, it said hill. I'm fucking stupid. I could see lights on here and there, and knew that the entire village had woken from its slumber. Yeah, because someone missing. First Takino and Tomitake, then the mayor, and now even Rika and Satoko have been sacrificed. And word of it was spreading everywhere. The strength in my knees left me. This could no longer be a joke. We could have found them. Mion would have told me I was a worrywart. Reno would just be glad we did, and they would have smiled at me. Ha ha ha. My hopes disappeared as if I were awakening from a dream. That was what the view I could see was telling me. Yeah, bro, that's ha ha ha. Ah, man. Following my knees, my arms both went forward into the ground and I clawed at it with my nails. I couldn't figure out if I was feeling sorrow or frustration. Is this my fault? I couldn't endure the burden of my own sin, and I had just told Rika about it. They had nothing to do with it, but Rika and even Satoko had been sacrificed. They had a lot more to do with it than you realize, buddy. I don't understand how you're not understanding this. They were already related to the incidents, bro. It was like a cross that Shion and I would each have to bear the weight of until we ourselves were erased. Well, if I'm going that far, then the people started long before that. Then the problem started long before that. My original sin of breaking taboo and entering the ritual storehouse without asking. I knew I shouldn't have gone in there from the start, yet I lost out to cheap curiosity. I hadn't felt so angry at myself until this very moment. There was a crunching sound. I wasn't even interested in who made the noise, dependent as I was, despondent as I was. Yeah. Keiichi? Keiichi, are you okay? It was Rena. Perhaps my clawing at the ground made it look like I was having stomach pains. She ran over and rubbed my head like she was trying to make me feel better. This is all my fault. Why? How about we shut up? How about it be like, damn, I feel bad, bro. Why don't you just feel sad that they're not here rather than guilt tripping? Trying to guilt trip. Cause he fucking sucks at it. It's because of me. It's my fault. Keiichi's fault. You didn't do anything wrong. Please don't blame yourself for this. I could tell Rena was doing her best to choose the right words out of consideration for me. That's why I could sense her intent behind those words. Keiichi-kun, you know why Rika and Satoko disappeared, don't you? Is what she really meant to say. Because it was an emergency, Rena had ignored the reason why I wanted to make sure Rika was safe, but now that we'd actually confirmed her disappearance, it was only natural Rena would start to wonder why. However, with the situation having gone this far, I couldn't possibly tell her now. I didn't want to admit to Rika and Satoko had disappeared, but I couldn't let Rena disappear either. Keiichi, if you stay here out here in the wind, you'll catch a cold. Rena sat down, bringing her eyes level with mine. They told us the children should go back home to sleep. Rena showed me her watch and said that, as she said that, it was long past 1 in the morning. Time was passing too quickly. Had I been crawling around here for that long? Yeah, buddy been tripping, bro. If we don't sleep soon, we'll have trouble getting up for school tomorrow. Even the adults are getting worn out, since they were up searching for the mayor last night too. They were saying they'd break up a little earlier tonight. I was a little upset that they weren't allotting as much time as to this as they had to search for the mayor last night, but that was something I, the cause of everything, had no right to criticize them for. It's alright. The police arrived a little while ago. Look, there's police cars coming into the village right now. Hearing that remark, I looked down at the village to see that there were indeed more cars than one would normally expect at this hour, coming from the darkness on the other side of the mountain. And we got the cops rolling in, bro. However, none of their emergency lights were on. Of course, their sirens weren't wailing too. That's right. All of the incidents that occurred right after Watanagashi were seen as the product of Oyashiro-sama's curse and would be handled in secrecy. Rika and Satoko too, their disappearance would end up exactly like the other serial incidents in the past. Surreptitious. Yep. Unresolved. Ridiculous, in fact, actually. Ridiculous. Declared a mystery. And disappear from memory. Rika's face, her sweet face, like a Western doll's, would fade away. Satoko's smile, her energetic fanged smile, would fade away. The more I tried to remember them, the less I would be able to. I deserved to be called an idiot dozens of times over. I deserve to be called an idiot dozens of times over. and it wouldn't be enough. I couldn't hold back the tears of my own sheer stupidity. I don't know why you're blaming yourself for, Keiichi, but you should stop. I wasn't able to deny it. I couldn't. Even so, I couldn't affirm to it either. I wanted to at least keep Rena out of this. If she found out, she would become involved. Please, Rena, could you just leave me alone? Even if I went home, I wouldn't be able to sleep. If I couldn't get to sleep, then I at least wanted to search for Rika and Satoko until I collapsed. Until I collapsed. The entire village was looking, and yet they still hasn't been found. I don't think I'd be able to find them if I went looking alone at this point. Still, I had to do it. They disappeared because of me. I couldn't possibly go to sleep while other people are out there searching, and now we're fucking ratting again. I said that to myself in self-deprecation, but I soon realized that Rena was silently trying to find the meaning in my mumblings. I realized I had misspoke. Yup. You did. It's Keiichi's fault? Why do you think that? Why? That can't be. Keiichi, you're not at fault. I was happy that Rena said these things to me, but she only did it because she didn't know the truth. If she knew that everything had been caused by my breaking taboo on the night of the Watanagashi, then even Rena would curse my existence. However, I can't even allow for those curses. That would mean confessing my own crimes to Rena. If I spilled even one word of having snuck into the ritual storehouse on that night of Watanagashi, then even Rena could disappear tomorrow night. The gentle, spirited, always joking, always howling. But at the time like this, the most dependable person in the world, Rena, might disappear. Spirited away, demon away, gone. I don't want that. Anything but that. This time, I need to bear my own cross. Alone. Keiichi, I know that you have always, I know you always have your friends in your heart. I can really understand feeling like you want to kick yourself. Rena knows that, though, that it's not Keiichi's fault. You didn't do anything wrong, Keiichi, and I know it. I know it. I know it. You know that? The shivering in my veins rushed up my head, and I replaced the sorrow in my heart with fear. I didn't tell her anything, did I? Maybe I accidentally said something that caused Rena to figure it out. This is bad. Now Rena will disappear. Rena will... Yo, we gotta calm down. Then Rena, the same way I always did, grabbed my head and began to pet it roughly. Keiichi, are you thinking that Rena might disappear too now too because of Oyoshiro-sama's curse? She puts more force into the hand rubbing my head. You don't need to worry about that. Rena isn't going anywhere. I promise. What? How could you say that with such confidence? I mean, someone's been sacrificed every night so far. There was no proof that it wouldn't happen again tonight, tomorrow night. I guess technically tonight, because it's, 1 a.m. Whatever. Technicality. There was even less proof, after all, that the sacrifice wouldn't be Rena. I don't care who you are. Just please, if you're going to erase someone, erase me first. Please stop cruelly getting rid of people we're close to. Like the mayor for Shion and Rika and Satoko for me. Shion's hysterical shouting came back to mind. They must be planning to kill us all, at last of all. They're not killing the first people who come to mind. They start by killing those we're close to. And then after they've caused so much pain, they kill us. Yo. That must be what they're doing. Rena, please don't disappear. Please don't, as long as I'm still here. I could no longer conceal the sobs welling up within me. Come on, Keiichi. Crying doesn't suit you. Let's go back to the others. The housewives are cooking some miso soup for us. It'll warm you up and calm you down. Rena prompted me to stand. I didn't have the energy to oppose her, so I stood as she urged me to. We returned to the shrine grounds to find several gas stoves there with miso soup in big pots. Yeah, I mean, this is supposed to be horror. So yeah. Here comes fucking famous. But yeah, it's supposed to be horror, Shay. Though, I mean, it's obviously odd, but it is a horror game because, like, the crazy stuff that happens. The many villagers there sipped on the miso, or as a soup they were given in dead stony silence. Their expressions were absolutely exhausted. Everyone had just been running around the village until a little while ago. From the jury looks in their on their eyes, though I assumed they hadn't come up with anything yet. Keiichi, where did you go? I was worried you disappeared too. Oh, well, text. Nah, I'm messing, yeah. Just doing my clocking in for the day. Have a good stream, bro. Alright, famous. Sorry. Mion held out some miso soup for me, but I refused the offer. I didn't have much of an appetite. Mion, how is it? Did they find any clues? Mion took a sip of her soup, her expression frank. None at all. School ended. Alright, bro. School ended and they went home. Then the two of them went somewhere on their bicycles. Moreover, nobody ever saw them riding their bikes, so... When it gets dark out in Hinamizawa, people quickly vanish from the streets. Yeah, it's like something wanders the streets at night type shit. Aside from the adults hurrying back home from town and cars are on bicycles, it was normal to see absolutely nobody walking around outside. It wasn't at all strange that nobody had seen RIKA and SATOKO riding their bikes. It was the same last night with the mayor. There's no hope. Mion's apathetic tone pricked my nerves, but that anger quickly subsided. She had been doing all sorts of things to try and find RIKA until just a second ago. If I asked her, she'd probably say she was up all night last night too, looking for the mayor, wouldn't she? She must have been far more fatigued than I was. Probably. Besides, what about me? I had spent the time hunched over in indecision all alone. I had no right to say anything about Mion. Keiichi, I know it's hard, but let's turn in for the night. We just decided we should break up the search for now. Drink this and let's call it quits. Is this the end? Oh no, of course not. Once it's bright out again, we'll do a thorough search with the police's help. They could have gone to Okinomiya too. People are even saying we should go through all of Shishibone City investigating whether there are any witnesses for both the girls and the mayor. I see. Anyway, what happened, Keiichi? Where did you go off to? You vanished all of a sudden. I was really worried. Suddenly, I was on the receiving end, but I didn't have the willpower to respond. Sorry, I'll be more careful. Nothing happened? There wasn't anyone suspicious spying on you or stalking you? Nothing like that? Mion demanded with a serious expression. I was being criticized for how inconsiderate I had been. Despite being in so much pain, I was frustrated that I was being criticized, but it was my sin. My sin, I must bear it alone. Nothing. I'll be careful either way. Sorry. Mion, now aware that nothing had happened, heaved a big sigh with her shoulders, looking relieved. Oh my. I knew I smelled something good coming from over here. I'd be much obliged if you would allow me to have some. We heard the repulsive voice of a fat man. Yo, Matt, you're back. Yo, Matt. Welcome back to the game, bro. Holy, it's you. Just ignore the text that just said about what they said about you. It was Oishi, trailed by a handful of police officers. He was acting energetically in a way unfitting, even given the situation. There's not much time left, but you can have some if you want. There's not much left, but you can have some if you want. Mion didn't like Oishi very much. Her cold attitude, though, didn't seem to bother Oishi in the slightest. It was like splashing water in a frog's face. Yep, there you go, Matt. Well, now, miso soup leftovers have a bit too much salt for my taste. Confound it. Would you all like any? He recommended it to his subordinates, but everyone gave dry smiles and refused. So have the police gotten got a hold of any clues? Rena's smile was warm enough to replace the miso soup. Don't you worry, little missy. Everything's fine. We're searching for them real good. He didn't say a word about having found any clues. In other words, there had been no progress. That sure was an annoying way of beating around the bush. In any case, it really has gotten late. All of you youngsters should get back home and get some sleep. It'd be bad for your health otherwise. Yeah. Keiichi, Rena, get some rest. These guys get our tax money. They'll handle it from here for us. We're taxpayers too, you know. It's like we're drinking our own piss. Alright, bro. No? No? I wasn't really in the mood for laughter. In fact, Oishi was the only one laughing like an idiot. Okay, seriously, do your best. Let's go home, Keiichi. It'll be harder to wake up tomorrow if we don't. Yeah, that's right. I can always bring you home if you need. Kuma, why don't you bring the car around? No thanks. We came by our bicycle, so... No need to worry. We came in a truck. We'll just throw the bikes in the back. We may have gotten pretty sleepy, but we just needed the ride home at this point. I didn't want to bother the police like that. Rena, however, nodded. Okay, if you insist, we'd appreciate it. It's probably safer than if we went back home alone. Then I thought about it carefully. I realized that Rena's idea was extremely irrational. Now that it's decided, let's get a move on, shall we? Okay, bye. Good night, Rena, Keiichi. Yeah. Mion, you go to bed soon too, okay? Good night. I waved my hand as well, saying goodbye. Rika and Satoko still hadn't been found. My unease, however, was steadily being pushed away by sleepiness. Rena showed the police where our bikes were so that Oishi could haul them up into their truck. He prompted us to get in the back seat. I could hear the springs squeaking as I sat down onto the seat that would normally hurt my rear end, but at this point it was very soft and was more than comfortable enough for me to fall asleep on. Ladies first. We'll start with the little Mrs. House. Where do you live? Thank you. My house is, well... yes, he's... Oishi, you know... Oishi getting me alone so he could fucking interrogate me again. Oh, no, Matt's getting, Keiichi alone again so he can interrogate him. Rena's voice slowly grew distant. I felt myself being sucked into a void of sleep. Hello? Maybara, are you sleeping back there? Huh? When I came to, it was quiet. There was, the car was parked. Oishi was giving, me light slaps on the cheek. It didn't feel good at all, so I woke up immediately. Sorry, I fell asleep. Something was being held right under my nose. A clump of metal? It was a can of coffee. It was lukewarm by now. It's lukewarm by now, but cafe late is good even at room temperature. Oh, thanks. I mechanically took the can and opened the pull top. The feeling of the warm, sweet liquid going down my throat awakened my sleepy mind. When my drowsiness receded, I started wanting to know why the car was stopped and why I was ordered coffee. Oishi, who had been in the driver's seat, had at some point moved to the back. Yo, Matt, what are you doing? Suddenly, I had a very bad feeling about this. Matt? Matt? Leave him alone! Get away from him, Matt! Get away! It reminded me of the questioning yesterday at the library. It was already too late to by the time I realized I had made a mistake. The day of all days, I didn't look like I would be getting away. It didn't look like I would be getting away. I had a feeling that until Oishi heard what he wanted to, he wouldn't be letting me go. Please don't get all formal with me. I'm not gonna eat you or anything. Maybara. Oishi gulped down the last of his coffee, when then stretched wide, showing me how relaxed he was. That, however, only served to heighten my nervousness. Yeah, buddy, yeah. What do you need from me? Need? Oh, no, nothing special, really. You're going to evade the question at this point? What a deeply unreadable man. Well, I don't need anything from, need you for anything. I just thought that you might need something from me, Maybara. I don't. I don't need anything. Oh, I see. Really? Are you sure that's nothing? There's nothing? There was only one side door in the back seat of this truck. In other words, my only exit was blocked off by Oishi. Yeah, what kind of police? I guess they got a truck, but it's like, again, what kind of fucking police truck only got one door? You need it. Okay, okay. Where my sub, K? Chop, chop. Where my sub at, pal? I could only limply hang my head and maintain my silence. Oishi, despite my, what word is that? Reticence? Relaxed and began smoking a cigarette. Damn you. Damn. Oh, okay, go Mas. Alright, bro. The cries of the insects outside seemed to be growing longer and longer in an amount of time that almost seemed infinite. Here I was sure that you had something you wanted to talk to me about. Oishi exhaled a puff of smoke. The windows were open, but the tobacco smell or smoke still accumulated inside the vehicle. How much did Oishi know? What did he know? And what did he want to hear from me? If finding out the truth made you disappear, then if I told him, would Oishi disappear too? Yeah, calm down, Mr. Impatient. Yeah, I am impatient. Where my sub out, fella? If I had a feeling that I didn't need to worry about that in his case. I wonder how all this ended up happening. Yes. Oishi addressed me in a low tone as if he was talking to himself. How all this ended up happening? How the hell should I know? That was what I wanted to know. You know, Jiro Tomitake and Mio Takano, right? I know you do, because I personally witnessed you with them during the festival alongside Shion Sonozaki. Yeah. Do you know how Tomitake and Takano are doing now? They've actually, well, passed away. They met very untimely deaths. Oishi probably played that card in order to surprise me. However, I already knew and didn't display the extreme reaction he expected. What's this? Did you already know? Unfortunately, for this question in particular, remaining silent was equivalent to saying yes. Oh, so then did you also know? The reason Tomitake and Takano were cursed like that? People are saying that apparently they went into some forbidden building. The storehouse for ritual implements. That forbidden shed sealing away Hinamizawa's bloodstained past. This happened. Yep. Where the mistake that started it all happened. Do you know about the rumors? They say the mayor and RIKA Furude were cursed because of that too. That would mean it was mine and Shion's fault. He was right. As soon as we revealed that what we did. What did you call it? What did they call it? A ritual storehouse? They're saying it was bad luck. The lock to it had been replaced by a similar one, which made it easier for thieves to get inside. What? This was news to me. Until last year, it apparently had been had these big bars and huge padlock on it. I mean, you know, ever since the priest and his wife passed away, RIKA has been managing the place, right? Apparently, she talked to the mayor saying she wanted them replaced with a lighter one, even a more simpler padlock because the bars were too heavy for her. I didn't know anything about those big bars he was talking about, but the lock had certainly been a simple one. It was pretty cheap too, and it definitely didn't really fit my impression of what a lock for a place you'd store something as important as ritual implements would look like. Rika's a small girl after all. The bars were heavy with rust and they must have caused her a lot of trouble. So the mayor hired a craftsman and replaced the lock with a simple padlock so she could open it with a key. So how does that mean it was bad luck? Here's what I'm saying. Thieves couldn't get in with the old tight lock. The mayor and Rika replaced it with a cheap lock and key on their own, so thieves broke into it. Apparently, that's how it's going down. That explanation's a bit, letting that slide. Certain members of the village delivered punishment upon the thieves who stole into the ritual storehouse, as well as the mayor and Rika who changed the lock. At least those are the whispers that seem to be going around. Mebara, what do you think? What do I think? I don't really know what you mean by certain members of the village. Are you familiar with the three families? Representatives from each of them gave short addresses to the Wada Nagashi Festival's opening ceremony at that. Did you see them? I came partway through the festival, so I didn't really. The three families are the three oldest families in Hinamazawa. To give actual names, the Kimiyoshi family, the Sonozaki family, and the Furude family. I see. They each have quite the lineage, it seems. Long ago, it's said that everything in the village was decided by the council of the three families. The Kimiyoshi family, Old Man Kimiyoshi, meaning the mayor's family. Sonozaki was Mion's. So the Furude family was Rika's family then. After the war, the Sonozaki family quickly expanded their influence. Practically speaking, after leading the fight against the construction during the dam conflict, they jumped to the top of the hierarchy in Hinamazawa. You see, though, in accordance to the old ways, they still decide important village matters only after consulting the three families. That's why the leaders of the three families each have their own addresses. Have their own address at the start of the Wada Nagashi. Okay. In other words, the mayor, the old lady currently in charge of the Sonozaki family, and the last remaining member of the Furude family, Rika. I heard that the Sonozaki family was pretty high up there, so Rika's family was just as old. Well, as you're aware, she has no relatives at all. In reality, the Furude family holds pretty much no influence. However, it seems like people gravitate towards Rika on a personal level, and I hear that many of the village's elderly have blind faith in her. I see. It was certainly true that Rika had an odd sort of charisma amongst the elderly. So what are you telling me about all these three families for? Oishi paused for emphasis, lighting another cigarette. I've explained a lot, but I suppose it's still not enough. I'm asking because I don't understand. Oishi gave me a dry, meaningful grin and blew out another puff of big smoke. Big smoke? Members of the three families are disappearing one after another. That's what I'm talking about. I've read that it's based on some kind of old tradition inherited. Yeah, inherent in Hinamazawa, but I don't know much beyond that. I don't know anything about it either. That's why I'm asking. The leaders of the Kimiyoshi and Furude families have disappeared, so maybe the leader of the Sonozaki family will be next. Well, that's just a random idea bouncing around in my head at the moment. Just kidding, really. The leader of the Sonozaki family, who is it? The current leader is an old lady at their main house, but it wouldn't be incorrect to say that practically all the rights of the leadership have been transferred to her granddaughter, Mion. The visage of Mion giving prompt directions to the adults while searching for Rika sprung back to mind. Mion? She's gonna disappear? Hey, he didn't say that. I hadn't even thought of the possibility. All my hair stood on the end. That's insane. Nobody wants that, right? Of course not. We can't allow that. Clamp. Oishi grabbed my shoulder with both hands. Shoulders with both hands. Then help us, Meibara. If there's anything you've noticed about Mion Sonozaki lately, please tell me. I was going along with him. By the time I realized it was too late. Oishi brought his face in closer, almost close enough to ram into me, waiting for my next words. This posture, or this pressure, I can't tear my eyes away from his. The moment I heard a beeping sound, it was from the driver's seat. He ignored it at first, but then it started to bother him, so he finally let me go and leaned into the driver's seat. Hello? Yep, loud and clear. I was saved. Of course, it's not like I could escape through this opening. I see. Yes, all right. Let's head back then. Yes. Okay. Apparently, he was being recalled. Now that I knew I'd be freed, the tension in my body dissipated all at once. It looks like I need to get going. We were just getting to the good part, too. That's too bad. Oishi flung open the door, exited, and walked around to the front of the driver's seat. He left the door open. Did that mean I could leave? You really care about your friends, Meibara. An admirable trait for a kid to have in this day and age. I totally understand that it feels like you'd be betraying them if you had told the police anything. Meibara, it's the middle of the night, so get a good night's sleep and then think about it. Just a little bit of courage from you might end up being what saves many of your friends in the end. Did he want to say that the sacrifices wouldn't stop at RIKA and SATOKO? You know this already, but every night since watching Nagashi, something has happened. In the past, the curse only occurred once per year, but this time it's been going for days. What a prosperous year this has been. There we go. I don't think you can call that prosperous. The night before last night, and now today. There's no proof that something won't happen tomorrow night as well. It's our job to prevent such things from happening. Or before they happen. But for that, we need your cooperation, Meibara. I looked out the open door to see none other than my own house right in front of me. It creeped me out that he knew my name and address. But I was too sleepy right now. I was too sleepy to care. Well, you're probably tired. It's already 3 in the morning. Please get yourself a good rest. Yes, sir. I'll be going now. When I was about to get out of the truck, as if to deliver a parting blow, Oishi said in a raised voice, I'll be coming every day until you feel like talking, alright? I don't believe forcing you to confess is an interrogation room. And an interrogation room is really in fashion these days. I couldn't say anything in response, but me slamming the door shut probably served the same response or purpose. Yeah, buddy's gonna be showing up, talking, yapping. After lightly beeping the horn, Oishi's truck drove off. Oh. I went to the front door without waving goodbye. The door was locked, but the chain wasn't up. I unlocked the door and entered. And walked over to the staircase. That was where I lost consciousness. Did Buddy close the door? Like his front door? Hello? Buddy closed... we got no proof that he's closing any doors, actually. Well. The elderly leader of the Sonozaki family. Request denied. Hold up. Is there anything new? Nah, I'm not gonna read any of that. Alright. Alright. Interesting. Oh yeah, let me save. Hold up. I'm fucking stupid. Let me save. Damn. We got 2 chapters left. So something crazy gonna happen in these 2 chapters. That's what I know.